Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you some information on 10 games in Fanatical's Fanatical Favorites Bundle of January 2025. To help you answer the question, should you buy it? By using the links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and have the opportunity to gain early access to videos by buying a coffee through Buy Me a Coffee or Ko-Fi. Your support means the world to me, and I genuinely appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into this. At number 1 we have Withering Rooms, a 2.5D horror action game blending elements from classics like Silent Hill and Dark Souls, offering a punishing yet rewarding retro experience. You play as Nightingale, a young girl trapped in a dream version of Moston Asylum, where the nightmare-filled halls are crawling with undead and sinister characters. As you navigate the ever-changing Victorian mansion, you'll uncover secrets, solve puzzles, and face off against grotesque monsters. The game emphasizes strategic combat, requiring patience as you balance Nightingale's abilities and gear against a relentless array of enemies. There's a rich variety of gear to discover, allowing you to customize your build with rings, armors, and weapons, each impacting your playstyle. Exploring the twisted world is both challenging and thrilling, as hidden items and notes enrich the lore without overwhelming you with excessive backstory. Withering Rooms also features a unique curse mechanic. As you battle, your curse meter fills, transforming the environment into a hellscape and unlocking hidden secrets. This tension adds another layer to the game's challenging atmosphere. Thankfully, you'll find checkpoints and a home base called Nowhere that lets you regroup and plan your next move. If you're into Souls-like games, the combat and exploration will feel familiar yet fresh. Boss fights are intense, but the game's thoughtful checkpoint system prevents them from becoming overly punishing. With a new Game Plus mode and tons of customization options, Withering Rooms delivers a hauntingly immersive experience to test your skills and nerves. At number 2 we have The Smurfs 2, The Prisoner of the Greenstone, a sequel to the Smurfs Mission V-Leaf, offering another 3D platforming adventure with a colorful, engaging world. You'll start this journey as unlikely allies with Gargamel, the Smurfs' longtime foe, to repair the damage caused by breaking a magical green stone, which has unleashed chaos across the land. Gameplay focuses on using your trusty Smurfomics gun to clear the environment of crystal shards and solve light puzzles. The world is reasonably open, inviting you to explore hidden areas for extra resources and challenges. If you're into collecting and completion, there's plenty to find, from bellflowers to combat arenas hidden in the map's outskirts. Combat is a mixed bag. You'll face waves of enemies in increasingly intense battles, which might feel overwhelming at first. But as you master the tools at your disposal, including Smurf-specific signature moves, you'll find satisfaction in blasting enemies away. Story mode offers an easier ride if the action gets too intense. The upgrade system adds depth, allowing you to enhance your abilities and weapons. However, you're sometimes limited by the availability of ammo, which can be frustrating if you favor one weapon over another. While technical issues like occasional crashes detract from the experience, the game's charm and gameplay depth still shine through. The Smurfs 2 is a surprisingly well-rounded platformer that both kids and adults can enjoy. At number 3 we have Ziggurat 2, an FPS title that thrusts you into the heart of magical chaos in its randomly generated dungeons. This roguelike adventure, where your first demise, courtesy of irate sentient carrots, foreshadows the relentless and fast-paced combat that defines the game. As you navigate through hordes of enemies, the title subscribes to the classic shooter mantra, constant movement is your lifeline. The game's diverse magical arsenal, featuring staffs, tomes, and dwarven blunderbuss, sets it apart in the FPS genre. Ziggurat 2 builds on the shattered remnants of a magical prison, the Ziggurat, where aspiring mages embark on randomly generated dungeon crawls to restore order in a world plagued by unleashed monsters. While the gameplay adheres to the roguelike structure of random levels and adaptive exploration, the variety of wizardry weapons keeps the experience engaging. The narrative, though not a standout feature, weaves the tale of mages seeking to rebuild the shattered Ziggurat. The inclusion of different mages with unique abilities adds strategic depth, complemented by a progression system that rewards you with permanent perks and new weapons. Ziggurat 2's charm lies in its unpredictability, pushing you to explore dungeons, face challenging bosses, and adapt to the ever-changing landscape. Despite the potential monotony and extended sessions, the game introduces daily challenges and diverse characters to maintain freshness. In the realm of roguelike FPS experiences, Ziggurat 2 emerges as a captivating and magical adventure that demands constant adaptation and strategy, making it a compelling choice for fans of the genre. And number 4 we have Operation Wolf Returns, First Mission. This game revives the classic 1987 arcade rail shooter with modern visuals and VR support, delivering a fast-paced, nostalgic experience. You take on the role of an elite agent, battling a criminal organization armed with a devastating secret weapon. The game captures the explosive, over-the-top action of its predecessor, but struggles with execution. The gameplay is simple yet satisfying, offering a variety of weapons like Uzis, shotguns, and grenade launchers. The VR version adds immersion, allowing you to aim in any direction, but many players feel it was prioritized over traditional controls, making the non-VR experience less refined. Some weapons feel underwhelming, and aiming can feel awkward, especially without motion controls. Visually, the game adopts a comic book style aesthetic, which looks decent, but animations and effects can feel stiff. While the campaign is short, often beatable in under 2 hours, it offers a survival mode for extended play. Unfortunately, the lack of a co-op mode in VR and limited replayability hurt its longevity. One major complaint is enemy attacks coming from off-screen, forcing unavoidable damage. Combined with a sometimes clunky UI, this makes the experience frustrating. However, the game is fun in short bursts. If you're a fan of classic on-rails shooters, it might be worth grabbing in a bundle, but don't expect a groundbreaking remake. And number 5 we have Creepy Tale, Some Other Place, the 4th installment in the hand-drawn dark fantasy puzzle adventure series, and it is easily the best one yet. You play as Martin, a young boy who stumbles into a terrifying alternate world after chasing a mischievous creature. This other place is filled with eerie beings, from gibbering gremlins to monstrous tumor-covered toads called Vargs. Your mission is to stop the Vargs from sacrificing a kidnapped princess and find a way back home. The game's biggest strength is its puzzle design. You'll solve intricate environmental challenges, manipulate time with a magic ring, and even massage a witch's foot. These puzzles are varied and rewarding, though sometimes they feel disconnected from the story. Why would Martin instinctively know to tinker with certain objects? Still, the gameplay remains engaging throughout. Visually, the series has finally stepped out of its early artistic influences and embraced a more distinct style. The hand-drawn aesthetic keeps the horror creepy rather than outright grotesque, with detailed environments that heighten the game's eerie atmosphere. The soundtrack balances tension and whimsy, enhancing each moment. The voice acting, though, is a weak point, with awkward delivery in places, but it does not detract too much from the overall experience. A late-game action sequence feels clunky, but it is skippable. Some Other Place solidifies Creepy Tale's identity, offering a delightfully dark, well-crafted adventure. There is still room to grow, but this is the strongest entry yet. And number 6 we have The Ascent Cyber Edition. The Ascent starts slow, with its early missions feeling repetitive, as you trudge through the archaeology, flipping switches, and fighting generic mutants. Yet, once you enter Cluster 13 and hear the incredible soundtrack, the game hits its stride. Neon Giant's isometric shooter excels in its world building, with stunning visuals, punchy sound effects, and an atmosphere brimming with cyberpunk grit. The intricacies of its setting, from robotic taxi rides to NPC interactions, immerse you deeply in the dystopian landscape. Gameplay is a mix of twin-stick shooting, RPG mechanics, and chaotic co-op fun. The controls are tight, though bugs and janky mechanics sometimes disrupt the experience. The navigation system is particularly frustrating, often leading you into high-level areas unprepared, resulting in frustrating deaths. Despite these issues, the combat and co-op modes remain satisfying, with a variety of weapons and augmentations to keep you hooked. Enter the Cyber Heist DLC, a 3 to 5 hour expansion that offers a new area, the dark playground, and a handful of melee weapons, including the powerful guillotine katana. The DLC is challenging, with enemies up to level 40, but it feels like an extended side quest rather than a true continuation. While the new map provides fresh environments and a thrilling train level, the overall content lacks depth, recycling much of the base game's mechanics. The Cyber Edition also includes more weapons, technical gear, armor, and animated skins. Despite its flaws, the Ascent Cyber Edition delivers plenty of neon-lit action, and fans will find more to love in this gritty, futuristic world. And number 7 we have Definitely Not Fried Chicken, a unique management simulation game where you run a dual business empire of drug production and legitimate fronts, set in a neon-soaked 1980s inspired city. You'll grow your drug empire from scratch, balancing the creation of narcotics with the operation of businesses like fried chicken shops, casinos, and laundromats to disguise your illegal activities. The game challenges you to manage resources, expand facilities, and keep employees happy while navigating risks like law enforcement crackdowns. While the concept is fresh and fun, definitely not fried chicken suffers from significant flaws. Bugs, such as employees and delivery drivers getting stuck in endless loops, disrupt gameplay and can even ruin save files. These issues often make the late game more frustrating than rewarding. Pathfinding glitches and customer limitations in business fronts also stifle creativity and growth, making your empire feel artificially capped. However, when the game works, it is highly addictive. Designing your compounds and managing both legal and illegal operations requires strategic thinking and offers an enjoyable sandbox experience. Fans of simulation games will appreciate the variety, but you might find the execution uneven due to technical problems and lack of polish. If you're patient and love quirky management sims, this game is worth a shot, especially in a bundle. But for now, definitely not fried chicken feels like a good idea that needs more refinement before it becomes a must-play. Proceed with caution, and hope for future updates to smooth the rough edges. Also, let's face it, one of the big factors why you might play this game is for that Breaking Bad nostalgia, an opportunity to be the Chicken Man. At number 8 we have One Lonely Outpost, a sci-fi colonization life sim that invites you to transform a barren alien world into a thriving habitat. As a pioneer, you will terraform, farm, build, and explore while uncovering the mysteries of this new planet. In One Lonely Outpost, you start with a desolate landscape and a few basic tools, aiming to create a sustainable environment for future colonists. The game blends farming, building, and exploration elements with a robust crafting system. You can plant crops, manage resources, and even interact with a robotic pet to help you terraform the land. The game's charm lies in its blend of simple yet engaging mechanics. The visual style, combining basic 3D models with a nostalgic aesthetic, enhances the cozy, exploratory feel of the game. The sound design, featuring a quirky, retro-inspired soundtrack, complements the experience. However, One Lonely Outpost is still in early access, meaning it's a work in progress. Some players have noted issues with the game's progression and a lack of clarity in unlocking new features. Despite these growing pains, the game offers a satisfying loop of activities, from farming to crafting, that keeps you engaged. The community and developer updates suggest improvements are on the way, making it worth watching if you enjoy similar games. One Lonely Outpost provides a charming, if somewhat imperfect experience for fans of life and colony sims. Its potential for growth and unique setting make it a promising addition to the genre. At number 9 we have Streets of Rogue,
a chaotic roguelike game with endless player choice. You play as a newly hired mercenary whose mission is to help the Alliance in restoring the city from its corrupt state. This game is not about the story though. You can play as 26 different characters, killing targets and stealing MacGuffins from guarded buildings. Once all of your missions are finished, you take an elevator onto your next procedurally generated floor. And you keep going until you die or reach the end. Even though the world and missions are repetitive, the unique traits of each character and how they interact with the world is very unpredictable. Some of these characters are hackers who can't fight but can hack electronics. Some are cannibals who can regenerate health by literally eating corpses, while assassins can go invisible, among others. You have multiple ways to approach each mission. You're given a general goal like, kill this dude, and how you go about doing it is up to you. You can simply gun him down, beat him up, program a turret to target him, or hire him as a bodyguard, lure him into an enemy ambush, and get him killed. It's entirely up to you. Missions are randomized, and each character has their own optional big quests. Completing this quest nets you a permanent ability for that class. These quests and the unique traits of each character makes picking a new class feel like playing a whole different game. Each run takes its own personality thanks to the different items you find in shops, chests, and safes, as well as the traits you pick up between levels. You can also play around with a list of custom rules called mutators. That makes it a bit like a build-your-own roguelike experience. You can make the game easier or harder by how you mutate the rules of the game. This game is absolutely worth playing, and once you start, it is hard to stop. It gives you a ton of freedom, a varied cast of characters, combined with the randomness of traits and mutators. 2 runs will never play the same.
The Streets of Rogue character pack adds 6 unique characters, each with distinct abilities and playstyles. You can pilot a mech, mind control enemies as an alien, or zoom around as a courier. Every character is unlocked from the start, offering fresh ways to experience the chaotic gameplay. While not essential, it expands your options and adds variety. At number 10 we have The Chant, a third-person action-adventure horror game set on an isolated island retreat gone terribly wrong. You play as Jess, who, after a cultish group ritual, finds herself trapped in The Gloom, a psychic nightmare realm filled with eerie creatures and personal traumas. The game's best elements include solid enemy design and an engaging resource management system, where you must balance mind, body, and spirit to survive. Combat involves crafting spiritual weapons like burning sage and salt, but it feels clunky at times. While the atmosphere is unsettling, the game does not fully embrace its weirdness. The monster designs, like flower-faced horrors and skull-headed cultists, are creative, but not groundbreaking. The Gloom itself, a surreal, coral reef-like dimension, quickly loses its sense of mystery. The story also feels rushed, with characters' psychological struggles introduced moments before they become plot points. Despite these flaws, the game keeps you engaged with survival mechanics and compact world design. The lack of automatic health regeneration forces careful resource management, adding tension to every encounter. A fast travel system through the Gloom helps navigate the island efficiently. The Chant has intriguing ideas, but does not push them far enough. The psychological horror elements could have been weirder, and the combat more refined. It is an enjoyable but somewhat predictable experience, making it a good pick for horror fans, especially in a bundle. And that's all for this bundle. This bundle offers an exciting mix of games, catering to diverse tastes. Withering Rooms stands out as a genre-blending gem, praised for its unique mix of survival horror and RPG elements. The Ascent Cyber Edition also adds value, especially for those who missed it in previous sales. While some games may feel pricey, titles like Martha is Dead and Don't Knock Twice make this a compelling deal. If you're after variety and hidden gems, this bundle is well worth considering. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider unlocking early access to videos by buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.